Good evening, it is meteorologist A12 forecast, guys, and welcome back to the video. Hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful Friday afternoon or evening. But yeah, guys, I'm very excited that it's Friday now. I finally had the weekend to rest. This week went very fast, according to me. But some people just say it's slow, but I think it's gone pretty fast. But yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about getting more into detail on the possible nor'easter. I did somewhat a video like this yesterday, but I talked about also many other snowstorms. But I'm going to be just talking about just this nor'easter that could come in the late weekend into early next week that could bring in very heavy winds off the coast of the Carolinas into the eastern United States out there in the Boston Harbor and all that area. We have wind advisories and we have high wind warnings in effect. That could be a big issue. We also do have some coastal or high stuff advisories and coastal flood watches for areas all over the East Coast. So yeah, be sure to hit the subscribe button, guys, if you are new to the channel. And also, guys, we are incredibly close to 1900, and my 1-year anniversary is in 4 days, guys. But yeah, so please help me get to 1900 before that anniversary, and let's try to get to 2000 by the end of this month. So also be sure to share this channel. That really means a lot, guys. Also be sure to hit the like button and also hit the post notification icon so you get notified when I post. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So this is actually going to affect millions of people. You're not going to be obviously going to be seeing all the winds, but we're going to have huge issues for all the eastern coast of the United States. It's going to be our first major nor'easter. I know we've had a couple before, but they weren't that bad. But this one's going to bring a bit more snow, or a bit less snow, but it's obviously going to bring maybe some more winds out here. So we do actually have a couple of storm warnings off the eastern coast for the areas South Carolina, North Carolina, and Southern Virginia, where we could have some possibility of very strong storms off this coast. And we're going to have it stalling here for the next couple of days, so it could bring in a good amount of rain for the southeast, bringing a couple inches though, and then we'll see a couple inches of snow up there. We already have wind advisories in effect for areas into South Carolina and near Charleston, also for Augusta, Georgia. And we already have coastal flood advisories. And we also have flood advisories out there into New Jersey, into Delaware, and the coast of that. And then we also do have some small craft advisories too, and brisk wind advisories too in the northeast. So we already are having many of these areas out here in the East Coast taking caution. Very heavy winds possible, 50 miles per hour or more. But yeah, as you can tell, in the next 6 hours, we're going to be seeing very heavy rain. So this is late tonight. We'll have this rain continuing to bring in obviously some small a good mile. That's all you're going to be seeing really visibility wise. We can see a lot less, but we're seeing very heavy rain for the areas near Charleston, Florida, into Norfolk, North Carolina. We're going to be getting this heavy rain, this low pressure system to finally form out here in 2 areas by later into Saturday morning. It will split up, bringing heavy rain for the areas into the southeast, and will actually start to possibly head for the northeast before it, or actually after it stalls. The thing is, it actually stalls. We have this first part. This is where the first part was, but it comes into a second low pressure system. This low pressure system kind of goes away for some reason, and then we have, I guess, just the air from Canada that could actually remake a low pressure system and repair it. And then that can actually obviously bring in a double system, a major nor'easter possible, covering almost a lot of the northern Atlantic. We're going to have very heavy rain heading into the areas of the New England area, including Providence, areas into Boston, areas into New York. We'll see very heavy rain possible. But as we get closer, it does skip a little bit these areas, so not as big of a nor'easter, but it'll be one of our biggest so far we've seen in the season. It'll bring very heavy rain out here into the areas into Maine, areas near Halifax, Nova Scotia. It'll bring actually very, very dangerous ice mix into areas near the northern part of Maine. We'll obviously have a very heavy threat of snow possible. As we get near Augusta, Maine, we'll have that ice mix for Bangor, and we'll actually possibly have an ice mix for areas into Syracuse, New York. I'm getting some very heavy rain or snow. Sorry, we're gonna have an ice mix for Albany, and we can maybe even see some snow hanging out here for the Appalachians near Caribou. And also Burlington and Albany can be getting some lighter snow as we get into Wednesday. And then it'll bring a second shot also by later Wednesday. And then we have possibly another system out here in the Atlantic that could be threat, but not looking like it will be possibly a nor'easter yet based on what we're seeing. Now we're going to be looking at the other GFS radar. As you can tell, I've been waiting for this to load again. But as you can tell, we are, again, in the next 6 hours, we are seeing this hanging out here in the low pressure system. 1,008 millibars going to bring in very heavy rain for areas into Norfolk, South Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. Could be the states that could be getting very heavy rain today into early tomorrow. As we continue by tomorrow afternoon, it does push off a bit more to the Atlantic. As you can tell, it kind of moves away with this cold or with the warm front coming in. It's kind of pushed it out here. We'll have a high pressure system to possibly form here that could push it out, possibly. And that's why it maybe even stalls a bit longer than it should. But we're obviously going to be seeing this low pressure system getting a bit stronger as we get more to the northern Atlantic. We're going to be seeing these two systems. Basically, this is where the first one was. This is where we have a second one kind of forms, but they kind of conjoin together. That could bring in a bigger threat for maybe even earlier rain that could get into many areas, into Canada, into the northeast, so maybe a couple hours earlier. Again, that can actually even bring in some rain. I was about to say snow. Some rain for Baltimore, areas in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Richmond, Washington, D.C., and then we can have that heaviest rain. Oh my god, that was actually really bad. The heaviest rain getting out here into areas into Boston Harbor areas, near Concord, New Hampshire, areas near New Brunswick, New Jersey. Well, should it be some light rain as we get to Tuesday? That's when we have that ice threat getting a lot bigger for areas into Burlington. We'll see an ice threat have areas into the Caribou area of Maine too. But then by actually Tuesday afternoon, we'll have that snow kind of coming in hand. Now that will be have that snow threat, not for too many people, but we still have a good amount of people out there in the New England, but again, not as widespread as a major nor'easter. Again, it's going to bring some snow north of Albany. Very, very heavy snow for Caribou. We're going to have a good, actually very heavy ice mix for areas into central Maine, and then we can have the snow hanging out there for northern Maine for a couple more hours, and then we can maybe have just a very small amount of lake effect snow, and then there's that high pressure system I was talking about in that European model. Yeah. So now we're gonna be looking at the winds on here. We haven't looked at the winds. We didn't look at the winds yesterday, but we're gonna be looking. We're possibly talking about this nor'easter maybe all weekend. Looking like it could be a very big threat. And as we get closer, I can be showing many more radars and all that. But again, we're not going to be seeing like a huge threat, like a foot of rain, really. But again, just what we can see, really all depends on where this high pressure system kind of pushes it off. It depends how long it can stall. But as you can tell, we'll have up to 38 knots. Out here and already we're gonna have 38 knots already near the Halifax area, so they're not gonna be seeing just strong winds just from this. We're gonna be seeing constant strong winds, but we can see a good 34 knots out here, and this is the 10-meter wind. So this is actually sea level, so not anything else. And as you can tell, we can actually strengthen the 48 knots right here off the areas of Norfolk. We can have some very strong winds today. We can see these winds stretching off our areas into Virginia Beach, areas into the Delaware coast, and into all the way up to the New England coast. We can have very strong winds. It actually looks like it could intensify though. As we continue by Sunday, we can actually have 51 knots, maybe even all the way over here in the coastal areas. You guys will really feel that if you're on the coast. We can have those winds starting to be felt into Myrtle Beach. We'll have these winds getting felt all the way into Boston and Providence, and maybe even Hartford, Connecticut. We can actually maybe see these winds being felt. But as we continue, as it goes more into the northern Atlantic and the colder waters, it will actually calm down just a little bit, going a good 34 knots. Again, we'll have that all for these areas. This is where we can have these storm surge warnings that go in effect for some areas, maybe even just at least advisories. And then that should bring in a good, maybe at most 30 to around 25 knots for the areas near Nova Scotia, into the areas into Augusta. But now we're going to be looking at snowfall, if you can actually get this thing to go farther. Let me actually see if we can get this thing to go farther out, because it should be like down to 114. So let's actually just wait. Okay, so I fixed it. So again, guys, we're going to be seeing actually a lot of snow, though, but not for many local areas, obviously. But we're going to see actually up to a foot of snow with this nor'easter, but not for, like, major cities, obviously. So that's why it's not considered super major, but again, it's our biggest one of the season, in my opinion. But we're going to actually see it actually combined with this. Oh my god, why is my Epic Pen doing this? We're going to be seeing actually combining with lake effect snow, too, so we can see additional inch or two for Erie, not much for for Buffalo, New York. But obviously, we're going to be seeing the most amount of snow for the areas in the Appalachians. I do not know why my Epic Pen is acting up right now. But we're going to be seeing a good amount of snow for these more northern parts of the Appalachians or upstate New York, obviously. In this national park, we're going to be seeing not too many areas. There's not really local big cities out there, but we can see a good 4 to maybe all the way up to 7 inches of snow. But as we get closer to Burlington, looks like the models are kind of favoring a bit more snow for the north, or for Burlington. Looks like we see a bit more snow getting to that area. So maybe we can increase a good 3 inches based on yesterday. So maybe 4 to 5 inches. And then we had a lot of snow for areas near, example, Caribou is basically the only name I get in mind for that northern part of Maine. Obviously not too many areas right here where we have just tons of national parks. But as you can tell, we get up to 10 inches. And near Caribou's like right here. We can actually see up to 12 inches of snow. So definitely a good amount of snow, obviously. And let's not forget to talk about the total amount of the precipitation. We're not going to have huge flooding threats for like all the way into the inland areas, like all the way right here, like other nor'easters bring. But it could actually bring a good amount of rain, though, for the areas into the islands of North Carolina, into Norfolk. We could have that rain ranging all the way off a couple miles or a couple hundred miles off the Jacksonville Savannah coast. But again, we can actually have a good 10 to 12 inches of snow, or oh my god, not snow, rain. Well, that would be quite something if we get snow there. But yeah, maybe a good 3 to 5 and a half inches of rain for those areas into North Carolina. So I was used to only saying rain, but now I'm only used to saying snow. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys, and everybody stay safe and warm, and I'll have another update tomorrow. Bye guys.